Have you ever changed one camera setting only to discover that something else suddenly looked wrong? You make the image brighter, now it's blurry. You fix the blur, now it's full of digital noise. You lower the ISO, now the photograph is too dark again. It can feel as if your camera is constantly working against you. But here's the truth. Your camera isn't fighting you. It's asking you to make a decision. Today, we're going to learn why photographers talk so much about something called the exposure triangle. And by the end of this lesson, you'll understand why it's less of a triangle and more like a conversation between three creative tools. Let's go back to the very beginning. In our first lesson, we learned that every photograph is simply captured light. Nothing more, nothing less. To create a correctly exposed photograph, your camera needs the right amount of light reaching the sensor. There are only three ways to control that light: the size of the opening, how long the light enters, and how sensitive the sensor becomes. Those three controls are aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Together, they form what photographers call the exposure triangle. Imagine you're filling a bucket with rain. Aperture decides how wide the opening of the bucket is. Shutter speed decides how long the bucket stays outside. ISO doesn't collect more rain. Instead, it changes how easily you can see the water already inside. Every photograph is simply balancing these three controls. The moment you change one, at least one of the others usually needs to change as well. Let's look at a real example. Imagine you're photographing a portrait outdoors. You choose a beautiful wide aperture of f/1.8 because you want a soft, blurry background. Everything looks perfect. Then, dark clouds move across the sun. Suddenly, your photograph becomes too dark. You now have several choices. You could slow your shutter speed to let in more light. But if your subject is moving, the image might become blurry. You could increase the ISO. The photograph becomes brighter. But you introduce more image noise, or perhaps you add artificial light. Each solution has advantages and compromises. Photography is rarely about finding the perfect setting. It's about choosing the best compromise for the story you're trying to tell. Now imagine you're photographing a football match. The players are sprinting. The ball is flying through the air. You already know you need a fast shutter speed. If you slow it down, everything becomes blurred. That decision is already made. Now you have two remaining tools. You can open your aperture wider or increase your ISO once again. The triangle helps you balance the photograph. Landscape photographers often make very different decisions. They usually want everything sharp. That means choosing a smaller aperture. Because nothing is moving, they can safely use a slow shutter speed. And because they're often working from a tripod, they can keep ISO low for maximum image quality. Three photographers, three subjects, three completely different settings. None of them are wrong, because each photograph has a different purpose. This is one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. They ask, what are the best camera settings? But there isn't a universal answer. The best settings for a wedding would be terrible for photographing stars. The best settings for birds in flight would make no sense inside a dark cathedral. Professional photographers don't memorize settings. They understand relationships. That's the real purpose of the exposure triangle. Here's a challenge I'd like you to try. Find one scene, take 3 different photographs. In the first image, use a wide aperture, adjust the shutter speed and ISO to keep the exposure correct. In the second, use a much smaller aperture. Again, balance the other 2 settings. Finally, keep aperture the same, but increase your shutter speed dramatically. Balance everything once more. Compare all 3 photographs. Notice how every image tells a slightly different story, even though the subject never changed. Here's something I want you to remember for the rest of your photography journey. The exposure triangle isn't a rule, it's a decision-making framework. Every time you pick up your camera, ask yourself one question: what matters most in this photograph? Do I want background blur? Do I need to freeze movement? Do I need the cleanest image possible? Once you've answered that question, the triangle almost solves itself. Let's bring everything together. Exposure is simply captured light. Aperture controls how much light enters and how much appears in focus. Shutter speed controls how long the camera collects light and how movement appears. ISO controls how sensitive your camera becomes and affects image quality. Together, these three settings become the language of photography. Learn that language, and your camera stops being confusing. It becomes creative. In our next lesson, we'll explore one of the most misunderstood concepts in photography: depth of field. You'll discover why only the eyes are sharp in some portraits, why landscapes can appear sharp from front to back, and why depth of field has surprisingly little to do with aperture alone. I'll see you in Lesson 6 of the Lux Lucet Academy.